emails with Epstein in 2013. The emails consisted of the two discussing placing for an Asian personal assistant for Epstein. Records show Mueller sent candidate profiles and coordinated interviews with candidates told Epstein's name was Mr. Stone. Federal documents reveal Epstein rejected several applicants before ending contact with Mueller later that year. Mueller is not charged with any crime in connection to Jeffrey Epstein. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
One of the alleged leaders in the 2012 attack on U.S. government facilities in Benghazi, Libya, has been arrested by the FBI. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi says Zubair al-Bakush has been extradited to the U.S.
Al-Bakush will now face American justice on American soil. We will prosecute this alleged terrorist to the fullest extent of the law. He'll face charges related to murder, terrorism, arson, among others.
The attack killed 4 Americans, including a U.S. ambassador. Officials in southern Arizona still looking for the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie. Nancy Guthrie's been missing since early Sunday morning. Officials investigating alleged ransom notes that have been sent to several news outlets. Trump administration offering shifting explanations for why the director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, was at the scene of an FBI raid of a Georgia election center. ABC's Mary Bruce says critics say it's part of President Trump's effort to use the Justice Department to investigate his false claim that he won Georgia in 2020.
Trump remains fixated on his 2020 defeat, but Joe Biden won the state, a fact confirmed by a full statewide audit and a hand recount. With the midterms approaching and Republicans rattled by recent losses, the president is increasingly sowing distrust in the nation's elections. He has repeatedly said this week that he wants to nationalize elections and have Republicans, quote, take over the voting, even as his White House claims he's simply voicing support for legislation requiring people to prove U.S. citizenship when registering to vote.
The Georgia Election Center raid resulted in the seizure of 700 boxes containing ballots and other materials related to the 2020 election. Decision, Wisconsin. Former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes knows what it's like to lead Wisconsin with President Trump in the White House, but not during a mass deportation agenda. Barnes tells WTMJ how he would handle an ICE operation in Milwaukee.
Local law enforcement should have the priority. And what we've seen in instances like with the Minneapolis police chief, he talked about work that they had been doing since 2020 to repair relationships in communities and how ICE came in and undid a lot of that goodwill.
The Milwaukee County Board approves a new resolution that aims to regulate how federal immigration agents would operate in the county. The ordinance requires law enforcement agencies to obtain written permission before using county parks as staging areas for operations. Supervisor Ann O'Connor.
Since this resolution was first introduced, we have seen increased violence and death at the hands of agents of the federal government, making the passage of this resolution even more urgent.
Milwaukee County officials say there are no indications more federal agents are being sent to southeast Wisconsin. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow is up 897 points. NASDAQ up 280. S&P 500 up 90. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 10:04.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news? A rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $150,000 in taxes, because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a plan, clarity, and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
St. Anne's Center for Intergenerational Care switched from a previous vendor to business technology from James Imaging Systems. Why? CFO Sally Parente.
The service, the value, and the ease with which we can just keep using their service and not having any big headaches. It's not just all about the money. We're getting value here as well.
Robert Prang, CIO at Tri-City National Bank, likes the fact that James Imaging is local.
So being able to work with a local company like James that has that flexibility with their staff and being able to deliver for us has given us the ability to make the right decisions for our organization.
And Junior Achievement of Wisconsin VP of Enterprise Services, Lori Salzman, had this advice for others.
If anybody is looking for a good partner that is there to help find solutions, call James Imaging.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Visit jamesimaging.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Bucks set to wrap up their homestand. Milwaukee will take on the Pacers tonight. Despite rumors of a trade, Giannis Antetokounmpo was not dealt before the NBA trade deadline and will finish the season with the Bucks. 2026 Winter Olympics will officially kick off with the opening ceremony today at the Milano Cortina Games. That's set to take place at 2 p.m. Eastern. Kickoff event will feature performances from Mariah Carey and Andrea Bocelli. The wait for Super Bowl 60 is almost over. The stage is set. Seattle Seahawks will battle the New England Patriots from Santa Clara, California on Sunday. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Disabled vehicle, it is blocking the left lane. I-43 north at Michigan Street. I-43 south about a half mile beyond the ramp from Beecher, the left shoulder blocked due to a crash. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy today, breezy, falling temperatures, high of only 35. Clear, cold, breezy overnight with a low of 6. Sunny tomorrow, then increasing cloudiness and a chance of afternoon or evening snow. A high Saturday of 20. Mostly cloudy 28 on Sunday. Mostly cloudy Monday, a little bit warmer, high 35. And Tuesday, mostly cloudy. Slight chance for a wintry mix in the afternoon with a high of 38. Madison 34, Green Bay 31, Milwaukee 34 degrees. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Good morning, Wisconsin. Guess who's on vacation again? Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. It's time for Point Taken. Ready to take the reins by herself. Here's Kristin Brey.
Where's that been all week? Throwback.
It's finally Friday.
Steve is out. He'll be back on Tuesday. Just got a picture from him. He's sailing.
Means he's
Kathy.
not listening, right?
I don't think he's listened all week, which is fine. That's true. I mean, on days that I'm off, I don't know if I always, sometimes I listen to him. It depends on what I'm doing, but that's okay. I've been on a tear this week anyway, so he doesn't need to hear that. I
understand.
All right. Those are the voices of Bill McCoshen, Republican strategist, and Joe Zepecki, Democratic strategist, back. I think this is the first time. I know we're missing Steve, but it's been 3 weeks since we were together.
3 weeks for us, maybe 4 for the whole crew.
What is time? What is time? I know, everything just kind of blends together. All right, so there's
been a minute.
It has been a minute. So, and there's not there's a lot to talk about. So
Always.
let's just start with the shutdown. The very
the partial shutdown.
The partial short shutdown that I feel like didn't even make the news because it was settled fairly quickly and non-dramatically. But yes, on Tuesday, the House voted 217 to 214 to pass a full year of funding package for several federal agencies. But now they have until February 13th to pass the Homeland Security specific funding. But the thing is, how I understand this is that it doesn't actually, this next thing that they're going to negotiate doesn't actually affect ICE's budget.
It doesn't.
It affects FEMA's budget and TSA. And so where do we go from here? And what advice would you have to either of your sides as they basically, who's going to blink first?
Don't blink is my advice to Democrats.
Okay.
When it comes to the reforms that Democrats are demanding in terms of ICE and immigration enforcement actions, which are not unreasonable.
Because there's been conflicting. So what are the actual asks
body cameras
right now?
for all?
It's already done.
Take the masks. Well, as Noam said, they were starting to roll them out, but that there would be more body cameras when there was more money, which didn't make sense to me because they have more money than
they have a lot of money.
Yeah. So mandatory body cameras, take the masks off.
Won't happen.
And a couple of other, common sense things. And so Democrats who are frustrated with the leadership of their own party have been screaming do something. This is doing something. And right now, the politics and the optics are bad for Republicans. They are bad for immigration enforcement actions by CBP and ICE. Don't let up. Get something for this. And so like Republicans are going to have to bend on this. And I'm seeing some Republicans, we'll get to one of them and say something nice, who are saying, yeah, we got to make some changes. So that's my advice.
I think that starts with the president. I mean, the president said, we'll do the body cameras, and they'll start in Minneapolis. And I think that was a smart move. I think it's long overdue, and that will happen. I don't think the masks will come down. I will tell you.
Does the mask thing not bother you?
It doesn't bother me because of how vigilant the agitators have been on the left. And I think they're paid agitators. I know there was a Minnesota Vikings announcer that almost lost his job for saying that, but I've got some inside information that would confirm that there's a lot of paid people there. It's not just
paid by whom?
We're all going to find out soon enough. But it's not just people on the street from the Twin Cities who are involved in this stuff. So let's say this. I think they did the right thing on the body cameras. The masks won't come down because it's too dangerous for the ICE agents, and I don't think that Trump or DHS or Republicans will give on that.
But what proof do we have that it is dangerous as far as?
There is no proof.
I would say like has there been cases of people coming to people's homes that are ICE agents and stuff, and we just haven't heard
they got doxxed. And what our listeners probably don't know is like the Guard was initially and the ICE agents and stuff who were involved in D.C. they no longer wear masks. So that was an agreement between the federal government and the locals. So it really depends on the situation. In a situation as volatile as the Twin Cities, that's not going to change. Could it change in other parts of the country? Potentially over time, but things need to come down. And there are some differences in all of this. Let's just talk about St. Paul or Minneapolis. Mayor Jacob Frey, when he was mayor, when he was first mayor under the Obama administration, he let ICE come into his prisons, his jails, and it was no big deal. Now all of a sudden it's a very big deal, and now he can blame his city council and say, well, they passed these sanctuary policies. But the truth is, there are two different standards. One for the Obama administration on the ICE detainers, and now there's a different one for the Trump administration. But I would say where Tom Homan has had his greatest impact over the last 2 weeks is he's been able to work with local law enforcement. The last thing I will say on this is don't believe everything you hear from politicians, and that includes Trump. Whether it's Trump, Walz, or Frey, they're going to say the things that their base wants to hear. I'm here to tell you, having met with Tom Homan 10 days ago, having met with the vice president, having had a conversation with Susie Wiles, there is significant progress being made on the ground behind the scenes by the people who actually do this stuff. And that's the sheriffs, it's the police chiefs, it's the jailers, and it's the federal government. Homan told us 10 days ago there would be a drawdown. He said it a week before it happened, and he stuck true to his word.
That's how you restore credibility. That's good.
Yeah. And honestly, he said some other things that were sort of eye-popping to the chamber CEOs who were in the room about, his best meeting, shockingly, was with Keith Ellison, which will probably stun some listeners here. So he is getting things done because he's credible. He's the right guy. That's the other change I'm going to give Trump credit for. Noam and Bovino had to go. They were way too toxic in Minneapolis. They had turned this thing into a melee when it didn't need to be, and there had to be a changing of the guard. And to Trump's credit, he got the right guy in charge.
So what happens to Noam now? Because she obviously, there's some calls for her to be impeached, but is she just sidelined entirely, or what is she actually going to be trusted
still
with?
Involved.
Maybe she'll show up at the next raid where the feds, take some ballots out of it, right? It's all fungible in Trump's mind. And the part of what you said that I gotta take some issue with is so Jacob Frey, as the mayor, isn't allowed to use leverage in working with the feds to say, if you want access to the jails like we've done in the past, you have to do X, Y, and Z so that my community is safer. But Donald Trump can use leverage whenever the hell he wants, however the hell he wants, right? That
that actually gets to my second point. Don't pay too much attention to the leverage they are saying in press conferences. The most unfortunate things that Frey or Walz or Trump are saying isn't really what's going on behind the scenes. That's my point.
All right.
Don't blink, Democrats.
I think there is more. So I guess final thoughts on the February 13th deadline and what you think will happen or what you
I think this is not complicated. They should figure this out. Cops in America who work for us and are public servants don't wear masks. National Guard troops who work for us and our community and our community members don't wear masks. If ICE and CBP take down the masks and start following the law, there will be transparency and accountability and another step that is de-escalatory, and that is good.
Masks won't come down until there's an agreement on these detainers across the country.
All right. Well, speaking of, I want to talk a little bit when we come back as far as DOJ lawyers and the limit that they might be hitting, including one who asked to be held in contempt. So we will talk about more with that with Bill McCoshen and Joe Zepecki. I am Kristin Brey. This is Point Taken.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Are you a fraud-paying American? 1 in 4 tax-paying Americans have been victim of identity fraud. With LifeLock, your identity, if it's stolen, they fix it guaranteed or your money back. And last year, billions in refunds were stolen. Could be from your salary, overtime, or second job. Gone. But this year, you don't need to stay a victim. Because this tax season, fraud-paying American is something no American should have to claim. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms do apply.
This ain't just another game.
The Milwaukee Bucks have signed Miles Turner, which is a true stunner of a move on a variety of levels.
This rivalry just turned up the heat.
Turner with a head fake, drives baseline. Oh, he serves up a facial.
The Bucks face off against the Indiana Pacers at Fiserv Forum. Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:30 on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Oh, the nice big fella.
Welcome back to Point Taken. It is Friday, so we have the boys here, Joe Zepecki and Bill McCoshen. This, I feel like, was fairly stunning and maybe didn't get enough attention. But this week, a DOJ lawyer was in front of a judge in Minnesota and asked to be held in contempt just so that she could get 24 hours of sleep. And she publicly said, basically, like, Trump's government appears, this wasn't a quote, but basically Trump's administration either unwilling or unable to comply with court orders and the ability for DOJ lawyers to keep up with how many lawsuits are coming. And so I guess, Bill, we'll start with you as far as just a reaction to...
Clarifying question. Is it lawsuits or is it processing all of the... It's not extradition, deportation, right? Like all of
She said the government was overwhelmed by the number of legal challenges, and she admitted that getting DHS, ICE, and the DOJ to follow court orders was like, quote, pulling teeth.
The U.S. Attorney's Office is short. We know that 6 resigned a month ago, something like that.
I think it's 8 in total now.
Is it 8?
And they were short to begin with.
They were short to begin with.
No, actually, I have it here. Bringing the total number, 8 lawyers reportedly resigned or announced their intent to resign from the Minnesota U.S. Attorney's Office, bringing the total number of resignations in the past month to 14.
Yeah, I'm not fully aware of this, but I'm going to repeat something I said in the last segment. It relates to Tom Homan. I think him being on the ground, by the way, I believe he will be interviewed by Matt Smith on Upfront a week from now. So people in Wisconsin will get an opportunity to hear Matt ask him pointed questions like that. For those that don't know, Matt grew up in Minnesota, in Esco, just outside of Cloquet, which is about 35 miles from Duluth. I think he has made a huge difference on the ground. And the more that they can communicate, the better they will cooperate. What had broken down completely was all communication between federal, state, and local authorities. And that led to, 2 tragedies, in my opinion. And what Homan has done best so far is restore that communication, and he's got a willingness to meet with people who have a very different worldview than he does. on this, and that's what it takes to get things done. You got to be able to talk to people on the other side, like we do every week here on this show. And we don't always agree, but we find a way to find some common ground. And I think Holman being on the ground, and he's there every day of the week. I don't know that he stays there on the weekends, but he's definitely there Monday through Friday, and that makes a difference. And he's got his team on the ground, and it felt different when I was there 3 weeks ago with the vice president. It felt very tense. When I was there 2 weeks ago with Tom Holman, it felt different. And he had only been there 4 days at that point in time. So I think every day gets a little bit better. There's a heck of a lot more work to be done. Let's be clear about that. But I think these cases at the end of the day, once there's cooperation, will go way down.
Let's zoom out a little bit. Securing the border and trying to get the worst of the worst undocumented immigrants who are criminals out of this country is not the entirety of the immigration challenge facing this country. I think we both agree on that.
Yeah.
We all agree on that, right? Because Shadow President Stephen Miller is obsessed with that part of it, the other things that have to happen aren't being done. Part of the challenge here is the backlog with all of these cases, with all of these claims for people who are trying to file asylum claims, for just one example. So if you have $75 billion for ICE to just do the detention and removal operations, where the hell is the money to hire more judges, to hire more attorneys to represent, the government in these cases? You have to do both. You have to secure the border. You have to fix the system by which people can come to this country, which I think we still want, and I know we still need. And you have to figure out removal operations for the worst of the worst. But they're just focusing and doing it poorly on the enforcement piece. So this is on the administration and the Republican Congress to say, I don't know, take $5 billion of the $75 billion that they've got for like the next 10 years and hire more people to do this, to fix the backlog, to give some of these attorneys a break. Public servants should work hard. But when you've got people in court saying, hold me in contempt so I can get a damn break, like that is evidence that we have put too much emphasis on one syllable and we are missing the broader picture.
I like that. Emphasis on a syllable. Bill?
I would say don't rule that out as a possibility as part of a compromise on the DHS bill over the next.
Good.
I think it's next Friday, right? They have till a week from today to get it done. That is something they may be able to agree on. There are different pieces of this. The one we haven't talked much about, you maybe more than me, is the focus needs to go back on the criminals. There's, even on the latest Marquette poll, 60 to 80%, depending on the poll, want the criminals removed. There's no doubt on that.
But I think we all want criminals,
want that.
whether they're immigrants or not. I think
Right.
we're going to talk about Epstein, don't get me wrong. And so the idea that any of us want criminals who are violent people just roaming the street, regardless of their documentation status, is like, everyone agrees on this.
I think they
the
do
thing
too.
that is what Stephen Miller gets accused
But
of is
the
this
narrative got away from that.
white nationalist undercurrent that is easy to say when you're just stopping black and brown people based on their color of their skin, where they're working, and what their language is, that this is about making a white nationalist country, not about solving our immigration problem. And I don't know if you have more insight on that, as far as that's just lefties being super radical and it's a talking point, or if there's actual legitimacy behind some people in this administration who would like to see our country get whiter.
I didn't sense that in any of the meetings I've had over the last couple of weeks. I did sense, I know
Been
what
in a room
Holman
with Stephen
said.
Miller in the last couple of weeks?
I have never met him.
Because he's the problem.
I have never met him. But I do know that Holman said that they had gotten away from their mission. And one of the reasons he was in Minneapolis at the president's request was to get them back on track. And that's going to happen. I think it already has. And the positive progress will continue. It's not going to be over for a while, but it's going to continue. And I think there's already de-escalation, and we need it to completely end for the Minnesota business community. If you have a downtown hotel right now, you are getting crushed. I mean, the only reason you haven't gone Chapter 11 is because you have ICE agents in your facility. You can't have a major metropolitan area that drives the economy of Minnesota crushed. They have to be able to conduct commerce. And sadly, we may be 6 to 8 to 12 weeks away from that, but that's where we got to get back to.
You heard it from Bill. Trump administration choices making it harder for people to grow the economy, create jobs. How about that?
All right, let's take another break. Bill McCoshen and Joseph Pecky. I am Kristin Brey, and this is Point Taken.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Start the new year right. Use your vision benefits and schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam. You can check out new frame styles and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Shopco Optical is committed to quality eye care and will create personalized vision solutions tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. New year, new you, new style. Call Shopco Optical or visit shopco.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
When it's 40 degrees in your living room and you've started using the toaster as a hand warmer.
And the dog is wearing more layers than a lasagna.
And you're using a blowtorch to defrost your Cheerios.
And you're considering burning the coffee table for warmth.
Then it's officially time to call Capital. We offer same-day heating repair service 7 days a week.
And for a limited time, all our heating service calls are free when we make the repair.
Just call Capital. We'll banish the brrr.
Call CapitalCares.com.
Hey, it's the weekend. Take your family to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. Half your dinners are free, even on the weekend. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox and Hounds, my favorite place. The Friday fish fry is all you care to eat and one of the best. All other dinners are buy one, get one free. Choice steaks, delicious seafood, mouthwatering pasta. The pecan-crusted walleye is so good. All the entrees are buy one, get one free. Desserts, too. Including that chocolate cake. Buy one, get one free. De-stress with an old-fashioned, a Manhattan. They've got 20 great bourbons, over 100 fine wines, and those 8 elegant dining rooms with real wood-burning fireplaces. Fantastic. Saturday night, your second prime rib dinner is free, only at the Fox and Hounds. The magnificent Sunday brunch is all you can eat. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. Wherever you live, it's worth the drive through the Kettle Moraine for your free dinner right near Holy Hill. Call and reserve your free dinner this weekend. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
At Advent, nasal congestion and sinus infections can be solved with an in-office 20-minute procedure. Elsewhere, expect surgery.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Half of American parents cannot afford diapers. This is WTMJ's Kristin Brey. This spring, WTMJ and the Milwaukee Diaper Mission are teaming up to change that. Join me for WTMJ Cares, Bowling for Babies, where we will raise funds for Milwaukee Diaper Mission. Join us March 7th at Village Bowl in Menominee Falls, where you can bowl with your favorite WTMJ hosts. Text BABY to the WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620 to get more information on how you can be part of our latest WTMJ Cares event.
Yo no necesito prendas pa' brillar. Muchas pullas no se atreven a tirar, pero PR chiquito y siempre te van a pillar.
Good rap.
This is gonna be my grab bag. I have gotten very much on the Bad Bunny train this week, but I'll say more about it when we end this part of the show. So yes, I have asked Jazz to have some Bad Bunny bumping music for the duration of the show.
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. Benito.
Oh, my.
All right. I know Bill's very excited for Bad Bunny to perform on Sunday.
I think I'll be eating during that period.
I'm telling you, I think more people than you think are going to be like, it's going to be hard not to dance. Like, you're going to catch your shoulder just doing like a little bit of a shimmy. Yeah.
It's sketchy.
All right. Last question, Bill. So the Wisconsin angle of this is there was a massive, like way over capacity meeting this week on the east side in Milwaukee talking about ICE. Yeah. And it showed I think, what the turnout was of people worried about it. Do you think Minnesota and what the escalation was there and where it got to is a one and done? Or do you think we'll see it happen in other cities?
I think it was a one and done. I think it was a good lesson that the Trump administration sort of got off course, let the narrative get away from them. I think You
got 5 seconds.
Oh.
One and done.
One and done.
Put it in the record, Jazz. All right, ABC News and local headlines are next.
ABC
ABC News, I'm Sherry Kristin. Attorney General Pam Bondi today announcing a wanted terrorist is in custody for an attack that took place in Libya 14 years ago.
I'm proud to announce that the FBI has arrested one of the key participants behind the Benghazi attack. Zubair al-Bakash landed at Andrews Air Force Base at 3 a.m. this morning. He is in our custody.
4 Americans were killed in that Benghazi attack. The search goes on in Tucson, but still no sign of Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mom of Today host Savannah Guthrie. The sheriff there, Chris Nanos, saying they're asking for prayers. 7 months after deadly flash flooding in Texas Hill Country, a 5th lawsuit has been filed against Camp Mystic, where 27 campers and counselors died. Another brutally cold weekend for millions of Americans along the East Coast. Extreme temperature warnings out from Detroit to Boston down to North Carolina. Could feel like 15 below in New York City. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Connie Weber. A Burger King franchisor in Wisconsin facing more than $1 million in penalties for more than 1,600 child labor violations involving more than 600 minors. What Governor Tony Evers calls the largest child labor case in the state's modern history. Investigators say children worked without permits, missed required meal breaks, and worked outside legally allowed hours over a 2-year period. Company operates more than 100 locations statewide and is now required to pay back wages and fines immediately. Deadly stabbing on Milwaukee's West Side 36th and National killed a 44-year-old woman. A 39-year-old man was arrested. Police say it does not appear to be domestic violence. Rockwell Automation plans to develop a new campus in New Berlin. The company tells WTMJ the proposed site will likely include a new 1 million square foot plant with access to regional transportation, infrastructure, and utilities. The Milwaukee Business Journal reports this is the first part of Rockwell's previously announced $2 billion investment in manufacturing with an emphasis on United States locations. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 878 points at 49,786. NASDAQ up 344 at 22,885. S&P 500 is up 96 points at 6,894. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I-41 west at Forest Home Avenue. Just a disabled vehicle. It is off on the left shoulder. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy, breezy, falling temps today. High of 35 and an overnight low of 6 tonight. Mostly sunny tomorrow, but increasing cloudiness and a chance of snow in the afternoon or evening with a high around 20. Mostly cloudy and 28 on Sunday. Cloudy, a little warmer on Monday with a high 35. Wintry mix possible Tuesday afternoon or evening. Mostly cloudy with a high of 38. 35 in Madison, 32 in Green Bay, 34 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:33.
For 176 years, St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee has been neighbors helping neighbors, working to eliminate poverty and hunger with compassion and dignity. When families face hard times, our volunteers step in. Over 600 trained volunteers ready to meet people where they're at, in their homes. And that's what our Neighbors Helping Neighbors home visit program is all about. Volunteers travel in pairs, listening first, then offering personalized support. They provide families and individuals with things like furniture, beds, food, clothing, and connect them to vital community resources, help that provides stability during challenging times. These home visits don't just address an immediate need, they help create a safer, more stable future for our families and individuals in our community. Last year alone, St. Vincent de Paul Society volunteers completed nearly 11,000 home visits across Milwaukee County, serving those who need us most. Together, we are neighbors helping neighbors. To learn more about our mission or get involved, visit svdpmilw.org.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi. Fleet Farm's Paws and Claws sale is here. Now through February 8th. Save on everything pet and wild bird at Fleet Farm. Find great deals on food, treats, and toys for your furry and feathered friends. And hey, the big game is right around the corner, and Fleet Farm is here to help you host a winning game day party. Score deals on snacks, furniture, and must-have cookware. DeWalt deals, those deal days are going on right now at Fleet Farm. Find exclusive savings on trusted power tool combos, accessories, storage, and more. Only in-store at Fleet Farm. The DeWalt deal days now through Sunday, only at Fleet Farm.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. We've got so many fantastic things to do in our state. During the spring, during the summer, fall's beautiful, and right now near the end of winter, so many great places to check out. I hope you'll join me every Saturday at 1 o'clock for Experience Wisconsin. This week, we dive into some of those winter wonderland incredible destinations. We will check out Kenosha, and we'll also venture north to Rhinelander. It is Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays at 1, right here on 620 WTMJ. Let us help you plan your next trip.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey here with...
Was that Bad Bunny? That sultry music
Is
coming
this Bad
in?
Bunny?
Unless someone
yes,
labeled News Bus wrong.
Yeah, there we go. Just wait for the Spanish. I'll fully admit, I am new to the Bad Bunny train. I knew that he was funny because I've seen him on SNL. He stole every scene he was in Happy Gilmore 2. But I am newer to understanding both his politics and his music. And I don't understand his music because I don't speak Spanish, but it's still fun to dance to. All right. Bill McCoshen, Joe Zepecki. I on Wednesday got into my reactions of how I'm feeling about what we know so far with the 3.5 million document dump from the latest Epstein, apparently the last of the Epstein files that will be released. And
I don't think that's right.
It shouldn't be.
Well, Todd Blanche said, like, this is it.
The DOJ is saying that's it.
And so I don't know. And now I'm hearing mixed things that because the Clintons were held in contempt, now there can be discovery because they are going to testify now and then publicly. Yeah. But now that, like, someone was trying to say that was 4D chess or whatever, and I don't know if that's true as far as what changes now that they're testifying, that if there is if it changes and now that there's discovery, that means more documents will have to be released. I'll wait for a lawyer to correct me on that. But to me, like, how this has been handled so far has just felt like it's enough has been released to shock us, but not enough to convict anyone.
Right.
And so we're just left in this like area of like creating despair and a glimpse at how bad this is with very little appetite for accountability, it feels like. And I feel like, so I know this because of the DMs I've been getting from other women, largely, but men too, of just like, how are we all not like storming the Capitol right now over something like this?
So there were 10 victims who had a press conference on Capitol Hill back in September, October, and they have since vanished, right? What needs to happen, I'm for transparency. I've been for transparency on this from the beginning. Am I ever going to read any of the documents? I've read a few, but I'm not going to read 3 million pages worth. Somebody needs to come forward and make an accusation. And I don't know that that's going to happen. I think there are people that have been exposed now, like Bill Gates, Reid Hoffman, whose credibility is frankly shot on anything they do. And there's a political implication, in my opinion. Joe may disagree as it relates to Wisconsin. We will make Reid Hoffman an issue, just like Republicans made Elon Musk an issue in the last Supreme Court race. If he gives another dollar here, it's going to be the smelliest dollar ever. I can guarantee that. But I don't know that any politician has suffered much from what's been released, because if they did, it would be the news every day, all day, 24 hours on every station. And we haven't gotten to that point.
Oh.
I think I said a couple months ago that what the first release had guaranteed is that this would never end. And it won't. It won't end.
Probably not.
This week we're seeing...
Unless those victims come forward.
And I don't know if I literally don't know what to make of it, but I know that there are thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who saw this week photos on the internet where people are like, this is Epstein, he's alive. Right? Like, there's been just enough to feed every conspiracy theory, every belief imaginable. And I don't know what to do with
like Silence of the Lambs live. He's down in some South American country.
In Israel. It was a photo of a guy. And again, you don't know if the photo's AI. You don't know if it's an old photo of somebody who just happens to look like him. You don't know what to make of it. So here's what I would like to see. I would like to see the United States do what we've seen from other countries around the world, where their politicians stand up and say, and there's no controversy over it. They just stand up and say, we had an MP or somebody who was a citizen of ours is in these documents. We are now going to do a full and transparent investigation. And I guess I just don't understand why there are not more members of Congress like Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna, one Republican, one Democrat, who have been a dog with a bone on this.
Yeah, they have.
And said, we got to get to the bottom of this. Wherever it leads, without fear or favor, the American people deserve the truth. We deserve the truth. And I think we can probably handle the truth, as painful as it might be, but I don't care where it goes. You want to haul
I
in,
don't either.
You want to haul in Bill and Hillary Clinton? Fine. You want to call in Donald Trump? Fine. You want to call in Reid Hoffman or Elon Musk? Fine. Get to the bottom of it. And the challenge is that the ham-handed way in which this has been done has so diminished the credibility of the people within the Department of Justice and the executive branch right now that the level of scrutiny and the effort required to clear that bar and say we actually have taken it seriously, we actually are getting to ground truth, is really, really difficult. And I just have zero expectation that in the next 3 years we're going to actually get to the bottom of this, and that is infuriating.
But it's also infuriating because this is decades.
Yes.
This is decades and multiple
George Bush,
administrations.
Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and Trump again.
It is so many people who. It is so frustrating because it is so many people in law enforcement and in the legal system that have had access to these documents. It's so many people in that sphere of influence who, even if they never went to the island, they knew Epstein had his
100%.
little thing, and people were just okay with it.
Yeah.
And the fact that we have this many people who were just okay with it is so disgusting.
Yeah, I agree.
And it just brings me back. I said it a couple months ago, and I just can't get it out of my head. When I was listening to Bill Kristol say, very casually, for a very long time, up until recent history, men's character was not judged by how they treated women. If they cheated at cards, if they embezzled money, bad guy. How they treated their wife, how they treated their mistresses, didn't count as far as how they were viewed amongst their peers. And the fact that we're still dealing with that is so infuriating. And I hope that there's actual appetite to move on this, but there's so much grief that this is where we're at.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I got a little advice for Congressman Comer, who's going to bring the Clintons in. You better pack a lunch. Hillary Clinton is a shrewd, sharp woman, and I've seen her fillet GOP congressman after GOP congressman. You better pack a lunch if you're going to try and haul her in before cameras, because it's going to be a long damn day.
Any other closing thoughts before we move on?
Bring them all in.
Bring them all in.
Get to the bottom of it. I don't care
burn
if it takes until I'm 80 years old. Get to the bottom of it, period.
I'm good with all that.
All right. Short break. We'll be back after this.
Brewers mini ticket plans for the 2026 season are available now with 6-game, 12-game, and build-your-own plan options. You can pick or build the best plan for your schedule, whether you're gearing up for tailgates under the sun, the thrill of the home runs, or the eruptions of walk-off wins. Brewers mini plans have you covered for the 2026 season with specially discounted ticket rates and more exclusive perks in each plan. Check out all the mini plan options available for 2026 now at brewers.com/ticket plans.
What does meaningful giving really look like? Join Annex Wealth Management for our Women in Wealth series, Giving from the Heart, where purpose meets tax planning, on February 19th in Brookfield. Enjoy dinner, refreshments, and an engaging evening on giving with intention. Hear from a local panel of nonprofit leaders as they explore today's philanthropic trends, smart charitable strategies, and how your giving can reflect your values and legacy.
Hi, I'm Maggie Tate-Tuckman, Executive Director at Haws. I hope to see you on February 19th. Reserve your spot on the events page at annexwealth.com.
It's a robber, and if you ignore it, it will just keep taking and taking. I know how pain can consume you. It steals the fun out of life. It steals your energy. And it's just a dark cloud over a lot of people's lives, even on the sunniest of days. But your joint pain does not have to rob you of your life or your happiness. Because at Rejuvenex, we can alleviate your pain, and that can rejuvenate your life. In a world where big box healthcare has driven pain treatment costs through the roof, and has made it look like joint replacements are your only option, Rejuvenex has kept pain treatment affordable for almost anyone. And for most with insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid, we've seen pain treatment paid for by insurance with zero out-of-pocket cost to our patients. This is Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas. Don't let pain rob you. Take action today so we can help make your joint pain go away.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Call today, and there's a good chance we'll see you tomorrow.
Real James Imaging Systems clients. You've heard them right here on the radio for years. For instance, Chris Willems, office manager with Previan Law Firm.
I like the fact that the company is local and I can always get a hold of my representative who I have on speed dial or I have a cell phone.
Then there's James Imaging Systems client Preston Clark, who oversees IT services at Creative Business Interiors.
If I do need service, they're here almost within 4 hours every time. I've never had an issue where I'm like, where is that guy?
James Imaging Systems business technology client Lori Salzman, Vice President of Enterprise Services at Junior Achievement of Wisconsin.
I've never met an organization that is so responsive to make sure that we are up and running all the time for us to be more efficient and allow us to focus more on the work that we do for helping young people.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. To learn more, visit jamesimaging.com.
Take your family to the amazing Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford for the all-you-can-eat Wednesday and Friday haddock fish fry for $8.99. Wow. You'll pay twice that elsewhere. Desserts or buy one, get one free. Google The Mineshaft. Call and reserve your table, The Mineshaft.
Debí tirar más fotos de cuando te tuve. Debí darte más besos y abrazo las veces que pude.
KB's having some fun.
I challenge you not to dance, Bill. All right, welcome back. Bill McCoshen.
Have you seen me dance?
Yeah, the old white
Are
guy.
you not? Are you even at a wedding? Can't get you on the dance
No,
floor?
my wife doesn't allow me in the room. Right? Go for a walk, old man. Yeah.
All right. So I yesterday addressed my feelings about what's happening with Washington Post and Jeff Bezos being the third or fourth richest person in the world. And one of his yachts could pay for 5 years of the losses at Washington Post. But I started it because of the conversation in our text thread as far as what is the expectation for even the richest man to run a business at a loss versus what are we talking about? Like
good.
the public good of the fourth estate. And I guess we'll first start there, but I also want to talk about, like, what are we going to do? Because we can't just have thousands of independent journalists and think that that becomes the fourth estate. Like, one of my favorite quotes, and I said it yesterday, is like, truth is expensive. And to a certain extent, you do need an organization who has the money to send people to different countries, to send people, like, to actually do real reporting. Takes money to put bodies there, and you can't. And if you're an independent journalist working on your own, there's only so much you can do and cover on your own. And then what is the expectations of the public to get a full scope? Like, we need news organizations, and so I will put that out there and let you guys respond with how you're feeling about this situation.
How many hours do we have to solve this problem?
I know.
No,
it's 6 minutes right now.
I'm not sure we can't live in a world where there's more independent journalists and no institution. I don't know. What I know is that at the dawn of this country, every publication had a partisan bent, right? And then we went away from that, right? In the middle of the 20th century.
Yep.
And you had, like unquestionable, credible, the Edward R. Murrows, the Walter Cronkites, they were going to give it to you straight, no matter what. And there was incredible trust in media. And then that's eroded in the last 35 years. And so something else has to happen. I wish I had the answers. I'm not sure I do. But in the short term, it is part of what's so frustrating is, like, when Bezos bought the Post, he said, this is not about making money. This is an institution that matters, and I will provide the runway for innovation. And just because a business doesn't make money doesn't mean that it's not important. And so if to say those things and then to now just be like, we're just taking an axe to the place. Well, if you haven't figured out how to innovate and save it, sir, sell it. Sell it to somebody else who can, right? And so it is bad when there are fewer reputable institutions, and I know Bill might quibble with reputable, but it's like you just can't argue with the fact that the Washington Post is one of the most important newspapers of the last 50 years.
Or 100.
Right. I
agree with that.
I think that's worth holding on to. And if Bezos is not willing to, like, innovate with his big brain, who figured out how to change the economy with Amazon, like, well, then give somebody else a try to innovate.
Couple things. The less covered story on Jeff Bezos was the fact that 2 weeks ago, he let go 16,000 people.
We talked about that
from Amazon versus 300 at the Washington Post. So he's making choices based on the business conditions for both.
But is that because Amazon's not profitable?
It's clearly profitable, but it's not. He can't carry those 16,000 people right now.
He
right?
could. He's choosing to find other ways.
You're not going to find too many private business people, male or female, who are willing to carry losses like that. But let's talk about your second point on the independent journalists. Like it or not, Nick Shirley, a young independent journalist in Minnesota, is the reason Tim Walz is not running for a third term. He was the guy that exposed the fraud. Brian Fraley in the Dairyland Sentinel here in the state of Wisconsin has cracked the biggest scandal in state government in 2026. And that story is going to continue related to DPI for months to come. Jake Curtis, who sat in for me last week, was part of that at IRG. So independent journalists can have a significant role, and they don't have to check with editors or associate editors or publishers. They get to do their own thing.
And you think that's a good thing?
I think it is a good thing. And I think I don't think the model that we all, well, maybe not UKB, but Joe and I grew up with 2 newspapers in Milwaukee, 2 in Madison, that's gone. And I think the biggest mistake that all of these papers make, whether it's the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, or the Washington Post, is they sell their stories. They should give their stories away. They want more eyeballs on their content, and then they can sell advertising.
You mean like the paywall?
Absolutely. The paywall is the dumbest thing
I hate the paywall.
that was ever invented.
But then how do you make money?
But that model broke. They could, right? Like so you can't expect Bezos to, we'll do it after the break.
Yeah, we'll do it after the break. We'll complain about the paywall after the break. Bill McCosh and Joe Zepecki. I'm Kristin Brey, and this is Point Taken.
Do you have a spot that's too cold in the winter, but if you jack up the heat, the rest of the house is too warm? Vince Vitrano for USA Insulation. Time to get Jeff and his team out to your house. Proper insulation from USA forms a thermal barrier that maintains warmth in the winter and coolness in the summer. Time to get in on thousands of dollars of government efficiency credits. Jeff and his team at USA Insulation find the grants, rebates, reductions, and they discount the cost of your project up front. Get started at usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests.
That's WTMJ.com/contests.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. This week we're talking ATV, UTVs in Wisconsin, a growing sport. And a great organization, Wisconsin Hero Outdoors, better known as WHO, helping veterans get back to the outdoors in Wisconsin.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Yo sé dolce, a veces vulgar, y cuando te lo quito, después de los paris, las copas de vino, las libras de mari.
All right, we got a minute. Let's solve the media crisis.
If selling ads still worked, that's what they would do. The break in the business model is that, like, the local furniture store, Steinhoffel's here in Southeast Wisconsin, right? Like
the want ads used to carry a lot of paper.
The classifieds,
local dailies.
Whether it's Craigslist, whether it's Amazon, the economic model of we can sell the ads and then subscriptions and that is enough is gone. If the paywall isn't working for you, that's a revenue stream. Then you need to try a different innovation. But that innovation has to lead to money so long as we have a for-profit media environment.
And there's been an increase of successful nonprofit media outlets that are, more Perfect Union and stuff, but they usually have a bent as far as what they're covering, how they're covering it, as far as, like, if you take more Perfect Union, it talks about wealth inequality, right? So, like, that is what they cover, and they cover it from a pretty left position.
And part of the challenge, and I say this to Bill all the time, slow down. Right? Like,
slow down, old man.
Like maybe we don't need to live inside the news hour by hour. I learn a hell of a lot more reading books that look back over years and when you're closer to ground truth and understanding than I do from reading the newspaper on any given day. And we're not a society that reads anymore. Right? If you have read a book this year, you are part of, like, a vanishingly small minority of the American people. That's a problem. Right. And that goes to education and civic engagement. So this is a big problem of our times. I don't have any solutions today. I'm sorry.
But apparently
I'll take the L.
benevolent billionaire is not a safe answer.
It's not a solution
because as soon as they change their mind.
Does a benevolent billionaire own the LA Times? Yes. Does one own the New York Times? Probably yes. I don't know that. I think they have to do something with that paywall. And I'm not a tech guy, but they must know the conversion rate. If I hop into a story and I can't get the story because the paywall comes up, they must know how many times someone like me converted to a subscriber, right? Even if it's the short term. They got to know they got to know the
all of my
analytics
stuff at Journal Sentinel is now paywalled.
Yeah, they got to know the analytics on it, and I bet it's 90% is a non-conversion.
Yeah.
They say, that article's not that important to me.
Not worth it.
Yeah.
Kristin Brey's opinion, not worth it. All right, let's take a break for the top of the hour news, and Bill and Joe will still be here when we come back.
Hey, y'all. It's the Rocket Roger Clemens here. I spent years on the mound giving everything I had, and now I feel every inning in my knees, back, and shoulders. But I didn't want surgery, and I sure didn't want to be sidelined. That's why I turned to QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics Medical Director Dr. Kristin and his team use regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself. No surgery, no meds, and no downtime.
Whether you're teeing off at the club or chasing the grandkids around, QC Kinetics helps you get back to doing what you love.
Call QC Kinetics now and schedule your free consultation. Natural joint pain relief with real results.
Don't let the pain slow you down. I didn't, and neither should you. My friends at QC Kinetics, they'll take care of you.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris talk to comedian Charlie Behrens. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
M.W. Marine.
Anglers, looking to up your game on Lake Michigan? Join MW Marine in Hales Corners for a free fishing seminar this Saturday at 11 a.m. Meet Tyler Schrader, Ranger and Mercury Pro, as he gives an introduction to small boat Lake Michigan trolling. Perfect for weekend fishermen. No reservations needed, just show up. Plus, check out all the new boats on display. That's this Saturday at 11 a.m. at MW Marine in Hales Corners.
Recently, a seller that unfortunately ended up choosing another agent called me. She said she made a mistake, and what she was expressing to me sounded like she kind of was bullied into signing with him. Is it typical? Not always, but it will never happen when you hire a Century 21 Benefit Realty agent. I want our agents to be able to look in the mirror and say, I'd want to work with me. Not because they're good at saying what you want to hear or offer the lowest commission, but because of trust. Because if you're not feeling that from your agent, that's a problem. And I don't want that. At 1.9% on the listing side of your sale with our commission capped at $19,000, Century 21 Benefit Realty leads with a very fair and transparent commission structure with maximum marketing that can get your home sold fast and for the best price. And saving money matters, but working with someone who'll tell you exactly what you need to know up front, that creates trust. And that matters too. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
This ain't just another game.
The Milwaukee Bucks have signed Miles Turner, which is a true stunner of a move on a variety of levels.
This rivalry just turned up the heat.
Turner with a head fake drives baseline. Oh, he serves up a facial.
The Bucks face off against the Indiana Pacers at Fiserv Forum. Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:30 on the home of the Bucks, 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
11:01, we're at 34 degrees. High today, only 35. Partly cloudy, breezy, falling temperatures. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. Trump administration offering shifting explanations for why the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, was at the scene of that FBI raid of a Georgia election center. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi was asked about it during a news conference today, saying Georgia is a, quote, very important issue to us.
DNI, Gabbard, and I are inseparable. We are constantly together, as are the people behind us. We constantly talk. We collaborate as a cabinet. We're all extremely close.
The operation in Fulton County resulted in the seizure of 700 boxes of ballots and other materials related to the 2020 election. Bondi also announced today an alleged leader in the 2012 attack on U.S. government facilities in Benghazi, Libya, is in custody. That attack on September 11th, 2012, killed 4 Americans. A Milwaukee realtor's emails with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein appear in the newly released files. Milwaukee real estate agent and staffing firm president Peter Mahler exchanged emails with Epstein in 2023 while trying to find a personal assistant for him. Emails reveal Mahler sent candidate profiles and coordinated interviews, but there's no indication he acted with any improper intent. Records show he rejected several applicants before ending contact with Mahler later that year. While the short-term matter of extending Milwaukee County's healthcare contract is resolved with a vote by county supervisors, the long-term political impact to county executive and gubernatorial candidate David Crowley is unclear.
Crowley says his office acted quickly to fire the person responsible for the contract's expiration.
None of our employees, none of our retirees have lost their insurance coverage.
But fellow Democratic candidate Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez has called the situation a, quote, breakdown in leadership.
I think it is scary and unfortunate that that happened.
Former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes declined to blame Crowley for the lapse on Wisconsin's Afternoon News Thursday.
I don't want to politicize the event. I just want this to get resolved.
The new contract runs through 2030. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Highways are officially frozen, which means the frozen road law is in effect across Wisconsin. Department of Transportation maintenance engineer Mike Greiner.
What that means for the traveling public is that weight restrictions are lifted from our state roads, allowing heavier loads. In addition to commerce using heavier loads, we also have our county forces are able to use and haul more salt, heavier loads, and get anti-icing on our roads sooner and faster.
Officials also urging drivers to give snowplows more room on the road. So far this winter, 13 snowplows have been hit. One of those crashes was fatal in Waukesha County. The DOT and County Highway Association say most of the crashes resulted in vehicle damage and forced several plows out of service. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow is up 960 points. NASDAQ up 349. S&P 500 up 100. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
In Heartland, you're going to find a focus on distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original artwork, along with tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. In Pewaukee, the focus is on kitchen, outdoor, and garden decor, and all of it is priced at 25 to 40% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value.
Design Exchange.
Valentine's Day is almost here. Take your love to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club for a free dinner. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Listen to this. You got to check this out. On Valentine's Day, enjoy a 10-ounce prime rib with a 5-ounce lobster tail served with vegetables, super salad, warm bread with that honey cinnamon butter for $74.99, and that's for 2 dinners. All other dinners are buy one, get one free, including choice steaks, seafood, pasta, steak and lobster, even prime rib, any entree, all buy one, get one free on Valentine's Day. Sip on an old-fashioned, enjoy a Manhattan, 20 bourbons to choose from, world-class wine list, 8 unique dining rooms with 7 wood-burning fireplaces. It's cozy. It's romantic. Celebrate Valentine's Day with a free dinner at my favorite place, the Fox and Hounds, a Top Choice Award winner for most romantic restaurant. Just off Highway 167 near the Holy Hill Shrine. Google, call, reserve today. Tables fill quickly. It's the Fox and Hounds.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Milwaukee Bucks will take on the Pacers tonight, and despite rumors of a trade, Giannis Antetokounmpo was not dealt before the NBA trade deadline and will finish the season with the Bucks. 2026 Winter Olympics will officially kick off with the opening ceremony today at the Milano Cortina Games. The kickoff event will feature performances from Mariah Carey and Andrea Bocelli. The wait for Super Bowl 60 is almost over. Seattle Seahawks will battle the New England Patriots from Santa Clara, California on Sunday. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We have a new crash. It looks like it is off on the right shoulder, I-43 south, about a quarter of a mile beyond the ramp from Silver Spring Drive. Wisconsin Highway 59 west at I-894. Right lane is blocked due to some debris in the road, and still a broken down vehicle off on the left shoulder, I-41 west at Forest Home Avenue. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy today, breezy, falling temperatures, high of only 35, clear, cold overnight with a low of 6. Mostly sunny tomorrow, then increasing cloudiness and a chance for afternoon or evening snow with a high of 20. Mostly cloudy, 28 on Sunday. Mostly cloudy, 35 on Monday. And then Tuesday, again, a slight chance of a wintry mix afternoon and evening. Mostly cloudy with a high of 38 on Tuesday. Still 35 in Madison, 32 in Green Bay, 34 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristin Brey.
Well, welcome back to the second hour of the Friday edition of Point Taken. Steve will be back on Tuesday. We got a half hour more with Bill McCoshen and Joe Zepecki. Let's do a little Wisconsin news. So we have not covered this story yet. I have a feeling that there's going to be differing opinions on how big of a deal the issue at hand is.
The greatest thing uncovered since Nick Shirley went to Minnesota.
How did you say that? What did you refer to this as? Is the biggest fraud of 2026?
Yeah, in Wisconsin government.
So, all right. So I'll let you explain it because I think you might have a better grasp on it than I do as far as what happened with DPI and why the Republicans are now delaying funding to DPI.
Here's where the three of us may actually agree. The Dairyland Sentinel in January of 2025 submitted a FOIA request to DPI seeking certain things, like how did the state of Wisconsin reduce the cut scores on the forward exam? How did that happen? And they finally got their answer in February of, so that would have been in 25, January of 25, in February of 2026, and only because IRG, the Institute for Reforming Government, issued a demand letter to DPI for the answer. And what came back was there were 100 school district administrators or mucky mucks from school districts went to Chula Vista in the Dells for a 4-day retreat. All of them signed NDAs, which, by the way, is not legal in state government. If you are a public official at a public meeting, you cannot sign an NDA. So there are no records of this, but sort of the flashing red light on this is they spent $368,000 on this 4-day conference. And what was the outcome? They lowered cut scores. So they can tell you your kid's actually doing better than they are. Now, first of all, it shouldn't have taken 13 months for that request to get filled. They had those answers within 13 days, if not 13 hours. And that's a stain on DPI. As a result, DPI had a request before the Joint Finance Committee last week for $1 million for some staffing that was...
It's part of their operational budget.
Denied.
Yeah. It was tabled.
Well, denied likely. And there may be more repercussions. I would expect a hearing on this.
How are you saying this is fraud? Are they not allowed to spend money on a conference?
So listen, there's an open meetings law in the state of Wisconsin. If you are having a public meeting where you are deciding public policy that is in the public interest, you have to notice that. There was no notice of this meeting. This was a closed-door meeting. That in and of itself is a violation of Wisconsin law.
How do you know it wasn't an advisory committee or ad hoc?
Even in that instance, it would have needed to be noticed based on what they were discussing. Now, there's a piece of this. They have a vendor. DPI is a vendor that administers the forward exam. I won't name the vendor because it's not about them, but they have some proprietary software. There was a portion of that meeting where they could have easily gone into closed session, excused all the press and any of the public who were there, and discussed that proprietary information. But yesterday, DPI's spokesman used that as a ruse for why the whole thing was closed, because this vendor has a proprietary software they didn't want anyone else to know about. Well, that's not going to cut it either. My expectation going forward is there will be at least one public hearing in the Capitol in the next 30 to 45 days on this. There may be a lawsuit filed. Why would that happen? If I'm right about the open meetings law, that there was a violation, you know what the remedy of that is? Whatever business was done in that meeting gets reversed. So the cut scores would be restored. So don't be surprised if there's a lawsuit filed against DPI in the next 4 to 6 weeks, and the outcome could be your kid's going to get the higher standards restored, which is what Brittany Kinzer ran on. If all of this had been disclosed last year, Brittany Kinzer would be the superintendent of public instruction today.
So it's not about the spending, because I think we all understand that, like, $400,000 for a conference. It's about what that costs. You can debate and argue over whether the state should be funding that, but this happens, right? Government conferences happen. So it's not the spend.
It's not really the spend. That's the shiny object for sure.
And so
it's the activity.
It's the activity at the conference that led to a change in state standards, which my understanding is that conference had conservative, like, voucher school advocates in the room as well. This was not like it was all a cabal of WEAC people.
No,
right?
there's a full list of who went.
Yeah, right. And so, like,
and nobody claims to have an agenda or any of the materials that were shared or anything.
Oh, but if people from the right were in the room, which my understanding is they were, like, I'm for transparency. I don't care. I think it is.
I knew we'd agree.
Awfully convenient that every time there is a public policy finding that we disagree with, we find a way to make it a conspiracy. And I just don't think that's healthy, right? And, like, I don't know how they did these. I don't have to know. I'm not supposed to know. I'm not an education
What do you mean
expert.
you're not supposed to know? You're a taxpayer.
But if they had 400 people who are smarter than me about education and standards and best practices and what other states are doing and what's working in some districts.
Why wouldn't that be done in public?
It should have been. That's what I'm saying. But, like,
but it's not a conspiracy.
Yeah, but it's like if they're, like you just said, like if there were press in the room, then it's not a conspiracy.
What is your definition of a conspiracy?
Right? Like,
when you do something that big in secret with taxpayers' money.
But it's not secret. If there's 400 people in a room, it's not secret. Number one,
except it was.
Number two, if there's press in the room,
it only
it's not
came out
secret.
during the re-election campaign of Jill Underly. And the total facts didn't come out till a year after she was reelected.
And so
in the closest superintendent race in history.
And okay, I just don't care that much. Is that like you can't make me care about this? This kind of thing happens all the time, right, left, middle. If you want open records requests processed more quickly, hire more open records requests people, right? Like the number of people who have that is other duties as assigned. You've been in the state bureaucracy. You know that's how it works. There's not people who are dedicated to like fulfilling requests for transparency. They got 6 other jobs. It's other duties as assigned. They get spent 2 hours a week on it. Let's do that, right? I would take this joint finance committee a little more seriously about withholding, as leverage. Look at that. Leverage is back. They get to use leverage, but Jacob Fry doesn't. But this is the same JFC who, after they apportioned the money for the literacy stuff, they were holding that money back. What, for leverage? Or was it a conspiracy? I don't know. Right? Like,
it was because the governor went back on the deal they had. That's why.
So it was leverage.
Yeah, right.
Oh, so some people get to use leverage, but other people don't.
Touche.
All right. With that, when we come back, say something nice.
What does meaningful giving really look like? Join Annex Wealth Management for our Women in Wealth series, Giving from the Heart, where purpose meets tax planning, on February 19th in Brookfield. Enjoy dinner, refreshments, and an engaging evening on giving with intention. Hear from a local panel of nonprofit leaders as they explore today's philanthropic trends, smart charitable strategies, and how your giving can reflect your values and legacy.
Hi, I'm Maggie Tate-Techman, Executive Director at Haws. I hope to see you on February 19th. Reserve your spot on the events page at annexwealth.com.
It's Tuesday in Milwaukee. I've worn a parka, crop top, and rain poncho since breakfast.
Our weather has commitment issues, Tracy. It's bipolar with a side of, are you kidding me?
If your heating and cooling system is also confused, you're in luck.
At Capital, we're giving you year-round comfort for the price of one season. Buy a furnace, we'll give you an AC for free.
You heard him. Turn that burr into ah and tell that Milwaukee weather to move on.
Call CapitalTears.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve's Confetti. Fleet Farm's Paws and Claws sale is here. Now through February 8th. Save on everything pet and wild bird at Fleet Farm. Find great deals on food, treats, and toys for your furry and feathered friends. And hey, the big game is right around the corner, and Fleet Farm is here to help you host a winning game day party. Score deals on snacks, furniture, and must-have cookware. DeWalt deals, those deal days are going on right now at Fleet Farm. Find exclusive savings on trusted power tool combos, accessories, storage, and more. Only in-store at Fleet Farm. The DeWalt deal days now through Sunday, only at Fleet Farm.
This ain't just another game.
The Milwaukee Bucks have signed Miles Turner, which is a true stunner of a move on a variety of levels.
This rivalry just turned up the heat.
Turner with a head fake drives baseline. Oh, he serves up a facial.
The Bucks face off against the Indiana Pacers at Fiserv Forum. Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:30 on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Oh, be nice, big fella.
Yeah. You keep saying your side is better. It's time to say something nice about the other side of the political aisle on Point Taken.
Come on, people now.
Is this Bad Bunny also?
I don't think
This
so.
is not Bad Bunny. We got one more at least
This
a
one I
couple, couple more
recognize.
Bad Bunnies in there. All right, Bill McCoshen, what's your say
I'm going
something
to try
nice?
and do 2 quick.
Oh, okay.
I started a book this week by former state representative Thomas Nelson, who's now the Outagamie County executive.
Oh, yeah.
He wrote a very good book on the Edmund Fitzgerald, and as a kid who grew up in Superior and knows that whole story well, it just had the 50th anniversary. I'm going to give a shout out to Thomas Nelson. I'm going to also tell him he's lists a prominent attorney in Superior who happened to be my father's best friend, and they were on the school board together. And there's a whole chapter about this guy named Toby Markovich, who was also the president of the Board of Regents. Anyway, it's a cool book. Kudos, Thomas Nelson. I will tell you, I forgot my book on the plane when I landed in Dallas, so I got to buy another one to finish.
Which he's not mad about.
My other one is a shocker to Ann Jacobs, the president or the chairwoman of the Wisconsin Elections Commission. I'm not sure we agree on much. I don't believe I know her. I know her partner Dana Walks, who was a former legislator and ran for for governor in 2018. She filed a lawsuit against Madison this week. The WEC did, because Madison did not count absentee ballots and basically said, "Screw you. We don't care what you think. We're going to do our own thing." she brought the house down on the city of Madison, which she should have. And so on this one, I'm going to say, Ann Jacobs, you and WEC did the right thing. Kudos to you.
Great. Joe?
Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick, a Republican from Pennsylvania, who in a past life was an FBI agent, endorsing changes to immigration enforcement tactics this week, said, quote, they need body cameras. They need to remove masks. They need proper training. They need to be conducting operations that are consistent with their mission. You should not have Border Patrol agents from McAllen, Texas, inside an inner city doing crowd control. That's not their mission. That's not their training. They don't know how to do it, end quote. We need more Republicans like Congressman Fitzpatrick to come together with Democrats who should not blink and get these reforms as part of the cost of admission of funding DHS operations for the rest of the year.
Mine are the three. I think there's only three Republicans in the Senate that all said
state or U.S.
This for the U.S. So it was Rand Paul, John Thune, and Mitch McConnell all pushed back publicly on nationalizing elections.
Oh, make me four. Yeah.
Yes, but I'm surprised and disappointed that there's not more. People say, okay, are there publicly?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, publicly, I don't know.
Okay.
Do we have an update on McConnell's health? Is he out of the hospital?
I don't know the answer to that.
So I was going to say those three, but then also, and maybe this is putting the bar entirely too low, but the fact that Tim Scott has also and he's not the only one, but Tim Scott being the only Black Republican in the Senate did say that the Trump post from last night with the Obamas as monkeys was the most racist thing he's seen from this White House. And so for all of the Republicans who are calling out that racist Truth Social, kudos to them as well.
Let's talk Super Bowl.
Let's talk Super Bowl. Let's bring back some Bad Bunny. All right, we'll finish up with Joe Zepecki and Bill McCoshen after this.
Outdoor Living Unlimited has become Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer by building decks the right way and the safe way. Imagine a design for your backyard that includes an amazing new deck, railing, and stairs. Want to add other features? Outdoor Living Unlimited can do that too. Free estimates and ideas. Start the process by going to OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com today.
February means big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Upgrade your home with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath makeover and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings, but only for a limited time during our February winter savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com now. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
A buck in today's world doesn't go far unless you're spending it at Griffin. Because for just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. Buy one or a whole set. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand. We'll put you in new tires for just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. That's right, $1 over cost, and we'll even show you the invoice to prove it. So what's the catch? There's really no catch. You don't have to buy a car or a truck from us. We'd like it if you did, but our only requirement is we put them on for you. Buy one, two, or a set of four. The $1 deal at Griffin. Available at Griffin Chrysler Jeep South 27th Street and Griffin Ford Waukesha. The $1 deal at Griffin. Make your dollar go further. Griffin, the buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Imagine unpacking once and waking up somewhere new every morning. That's river cruising with Avalon and Fox World Travel. From castles along the Rhine to cafes on the Danube, Avalon's spacious ships put Europe right outside your window. Slower travel, deeper connections, and unforgettable views. Ready to let Europe come to you? Press the easy button and let Fox World Travel plan it all for you. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO to book your storybook vacation today.
Half of American parents cannot afford diapers. This is WTMJ's Kristin Brey. This spring, WTMJ and the Milwaukee Diaper Mission are teaming up to change that. Join me for WTMJ Cares, Bowling for Babies, where we will raise funds for Milwaukee Diaper Mission. Join us March 7th at Village Bowl in Menominee Falls, where you can bowl with your favorite WTMJ hosts. Text BABY to the WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620 to get more information on how you can be part of our latest WTMJ Cares event.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, pensaba que te había olvidado.
Welcome back.
I know somebody who's excited about the halftime show.
I am very excited about the halftime show, but I'll get to that at the end.
Is it a
All right.
football game? Is it a Super Bowl with a halftime show you want to see, or is it a
I
Bad
could
Bunny
care less
concert
about the game.
surrounded by football?
Honestly, I don't care about the Patriots. I don't care about the Seahawks.
I'll tell you who I'm actually excited about. Unpopular opinion: Green Day.
I knew you were going to say that.
Wait a minute, are they opening?
They're with the Good
They're
Rabbit.
not during
Oh, they
halftime.
are?
they're in, I think they're before the game.
Okay.
And then Charlie Puth is singing the national anthem, which I thought was an interesting choice.
Not sure I know who that is.
He's
Me either.
Gen Z.
The old guy.
I don't. I had to.
Left out
I had to.
Who you got in the game?
I think I have.
Who you got in the game?
Seattle.
Who do you have?
I really don't care. I love Mike Vrabel.
So do I.
I loved him when he was at
So do I.
Tennessee.
I'd be okay if he won.
The nugget that's been going around was like the first day of either OTAs or practice at camp. Everybody on the team was like, "What are you doing?" The first thing he had them practice was the victory formation. It's like, we're going to be kneeling down to end a lot of games. That is how you
That's a
build
message.
a culture and change a mindset. I love Mike Vrabel, maybe even more than I hate the Patriots.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm in a box there.
All right. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm definitely in the corner of commercials and the halftime show is what I'm looking forward to. All right, so I guess this is the thing. So I'll let you speak, Bill.
My grab bag?
Well, yeah, I guess we'll come back to it because that's where I'm going to end. What's your grab bag?
My grab bag is football related, and I would hope my friend Steve Scafidi would agree with me. I could not have been more disappointed in Brian Gutekunst's press conference this week. He's essentially telling Packers season ticket holders like Steve and me, hey, and you? Mediocrity is okay by us. It is a changing of the culture in the wrong way in Green Bay. I think he should be fired. I think MFL should be fired. I think Ed Policy should be fired and bring in some guys that can win. These guys are soft. They're too close to each other. That press conference was disgraceful.
All right.
I'm going to have to check that out.
I know. I missed
Holy
this.
cow. He said mediocrity is okay?
Basically. Yeah. He said our special teams got better. Really? Really? Come on.
So he was like a glass half full, a little too much.
Oh, he was like glass all the way full.
Oh.
We're the 28th ranked special teams in the NFL out of 32 teams.
Well, maybe
Somehow
we were
that's better.
32 last year. Then it's a true statement that we got better.
Oh, we were 32 last year. That is the truth.
So are we measuring growth or performance?
Oh, my God.
To take it back to
It's
the
bad
education standards.
on a multitude of levels. He's okay with our kicker. He's okay with our cornerbacks. He thinks our offensive line is growing. He loves Rick Bisacci. It's all bad.
the red in your sweaters bring out the red in your face. So let's move on.
I don't know. I didn't really think through the grab bag. I thought we were just going to talk about the Super Bowl for the grab bag.
Oh,
so
we can do that.
Has anybody seen any of the Super Bowl ads yet?
I've seen the trailer for Bad Bunny's performance, which I love.
Okay.
But that's the only one I've seen.
There's one of the AI groups has a really good, I think it's Claude, which is a send up of like what happens if you are one of the other ones that allows ads into your AI chatbot. And keep an eye out for the Ben Stiller commercial.
Oh.
I believe it's for Instacart. It is very funny.
Okay.
Very funny.
It's one of my favorite parts of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can talk during the broadcast of the game. Shut up during the commercial.
Yes,
Historically,
that's where
I watched
that's where I'm at.
an ad show sometime this week. Historically, Doritos has had some of the best ads too. So watch what Doritos does.
But yes, this is my. I listened to a New York Times The Daily Sunday edition of explaining who Bad Bunny is and the rise of Bad Bunny, and I am like totally on this train now.
You clearly are.
As far as learning about someone who comes from like poverty in Puerto Rico, and it was only through the access of streaming and what the music industry has become as far as being able to put your own, it's kind of like social media, right? Of being able to stay true to himself and his music and what he was creating and is putting it out on SoundCloud year after year and having this organic, like grassroots influence so that he's never actually had to change, right? So when we think of the Ricky Martins, we think of the Shakiras, and we think of the Latin artists that have become mainstream in the U.S., they were forced to sing in English. They were forced to be a certain way because that's how the record labels needed them to be or told them they had to be. And so seeing this success and that he is streamed more than Taylor Swift So he is truly the biggest artist in the world, and he has done it on his own terms and is still very true to he canceled a European tour to go protest with his people, and they got the governor impeached, basically. His politics, how dedicated he is to Puerto Rico. And also, the music is good. I don't understand it, but the music is good. And so I am very excited. And I actually think my argument is I think the most political thing, the best thing he could do, he already said what he said in the Grammys.
Ice out.
Ice out. But looking at what the trailer was for his performance is everyone will dance. And I honestly think if he makes no political statement at all and he just gets even the biggest haters to shimmy a little bit, that is the best thing he could do.
Be the smartest thing he could do.
It was all of this hand-wringing and consternation, and look, you had a good time.
Leave the politics to Green Day.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Bill McCoshen, Joe Zepecki, fun as always.
Great to see you guys.
Great to see you. We'll see you next Friday.
Yeah.
All right.
Jay-Z
when we come
out.
back, Judge Derek Mosley is here to talk about Black History Month. So stay with us.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Actor and director Timothy Busfield has been indicted by a grand jury in New Mexico. The district attorney's office in Bernalillo County says Busfield was indicted on 4 criminal counts of criminal sexual contact of a child. Busfield turned himself in last month after a warrant was issued on allegations of sexual abuse of a boy on the set of the series The Cleaning Lady. A judge later ordered his release pending his case. A judge in New York set the trial date for Luigi Mangione for June 8th. He's charged in the murder of United Healthcare CEO. A federal case and trial scheduled to begin September 8th. ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer says the Justice Department could appeal to go first.
I don't think there's any major difference if the state goes first or the feds go first at this point because the punishment is very much the same and the facts are almost identical.
In Arizona, the investigation into Nancy Guthrie's disappearance now in day 6. Police say the mother of Savannah Guthrie was abducted from her home, and they're working to determine if a ransom note is real. This is ABC.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. A man from Milwaukee arrested for allegedly shooting at a speedway in Greenfield, 60th and Cold Spring. Police say he got out of his vehicle, started firing over a dozen rounds at the driver of a semi who was stopped in the parking lot. Nobody hurt. 46-year-old man from Milwaukee was arrested. In Madison, a 17-year-old hit by a vehicle while walking to school has died. Happened Thursday morning on South Park Street near Burr Oak Lane on Madison's south side. Not clear if that driver was arrested. A new Marquette University Law School poll shows most Americans think the U.S. Supreme Court should limit the president's authority to impose tariffs. Over half of those polled say the high court's going out of its way to avoid ruling against President Trump. Poll also found a majority of people think the Federal Reserve should be independent of political control, as the president should not be able to remove members of the Board of Governors. Time for some news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 977 points, 49,885. The Nasdaq is up 429 at 22,969. S&P 500 up 111 points at 6,909. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I-41 north about a quarter of a mile beyond the ramp from Capitol Drive. There's some debris in the road. You can expect some possible lane closures in that area. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy, breezy, falling temps today after a high of 35. It's going to be cold overnight with a low of 6. Mostly sunny tomorrow, then increasing cloudiness and a chance of afternoon or evening snow, a high of 20. Mostly cloudy, 28 on Sunday. Mostly cloudy and mild on Monday with a high 35. And then a slight chance of a wintry mix again Tuesday afternoon or evening, a high of 38. 35 in Madison, 32 in Green Bay, 34 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:33.
There's never been a better time to experience Pella in person and get all your questions answered. Join us at the Neri Spring Home Improvement Show, February 13th through the 15th at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a free Design Works rendering. Rest easy with Pella's 10-year limited warranty and get 0% interest for up to 48 months. Set your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. We've got so many fantastic things to do in our state. during the spring, during the summer. Fall's beautiful, and right now near the end of winter, so many great places to check out. I hope you'll join me every Saturday at 1 o'clock for Experience Wisconsin. This week we dive into some of those winter wonderland incredible destinations. We will check out Kenosha, and we'll also venture north to Rhinelander. It is Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays at 1, right here on 620 WTMJ. Let us help you plan your next trip.
St. Anne's Center for Intergenerational Care switched from a previous vendor to business technology from James Imaging Systems. Why? CFO Sally Parente.
The service, the value, and the ease with which we can just keep using their service and not having any big headaches. It's not just all about the money. We're getting value here as well.
Robert Prang, CIO with Tri-City National Bank, likes the fact that James Imaging is local.
So being able to work with a local company like James that has that flexibility with their staff and being able to deliver for us has given us the ability to make the right decisions for our organization.
And Junior Achievement of Wisconsin VP of Enterprise Services, Lori Salzman, had this advice for others.
If anybody is looking for a good partner that is there to help find solutions, call James Imaging.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Visit jamesimaging.com.
Y a veces es dolce, a veces vulgar. Y cuando te lo quito, después de los paris, las copas de vino, las libras de Mari, tú estás bien suelta.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. Steve is out until Tuesday, and I am very excited to finish this Friday show with my good friend, Derek Mosley, Judge Derek Mosley, currently director of the Lubar Center over at Marquette.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm living the dream.
So in your own words, it is February, and you are black every month, but you're blackety-blackest.
Black this month. Absolutely.
And so we have you on. I think I've probably the third or fourth year in a row I've had you on. Just to remind people that you are a very good follow on the social medias.
Appreciate that.
This month, because every day you do a new fact, a new Black History fact that most of us have never learned.
Correct. And this is my 15th year.
That is wild. And so, because every year you do new ones.
Yes.
It's not like you recycle them.
And so, but I start recycling the older ones from 15 years ago.
Okay.
Just because I have a new group of followers.
Yeah, of course.
But
and so, what have we learned so far? It is the 6th day of Black History Month.
Sixth day. So, we've had a whole bunch of stuff. So, the one that I want to talk to you real quickly, because it's really a wild story that no one talks about. We just talked about Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
We literally just talked about Pittsburgh. So the Family House ambulance service, no one's ever heard of it. No one knew what it was about. But prior to 1967, there was no EMTs.
Yeah.
It was just like the cops would show up. If you were shot, they'd throw you in the squad car and take you down. Or if the firefighters showed up, they'll take you. And so in 1967, this doctor, Dr. Safar, went into this all-black neighborhood in Pittsburgh. And he found all these people who weren't employed. Most of them were Vietnam vets. Some of them had criminal records and couldn't find jobs. And he put them through this just expansive 32-week, 300-hour like EMT program. So it was anatomy, physiology, it was nursing, it was defensive driving, all this stuff. All black EMT ambulance services. First EMTs in the country. And they went around and they would only service black neighborhoods because the police wouldn't go into the black neighborhoods. And so they would service those neighborhoods, but they got really good. And they got so good that they started getting calls in white neighborhoods. And that first year, they got 5,800 calls. Of that 5,800 calls, they rendered aid to 4,000 people, saved 200 lives. And it was just this amazing program of all African Americans running this EMT program. And then the city says, you know what, this is a great idea. Let's have a citywide one. And they do. And they say, well, we just can't hire you all. We have to do we have to do an application process. Do the application process. And none of those original paramedics get hired. And so it disbands in 1975. So 1967 to 1975. But all of that training is what's used today for EMTs. And it started in 67 with just these 24 black paramedics. It's an amazing story that we just don't tell.
Well, it's funny because I definitely did not know that story until I watched The Pit.
Yeah, and so
it was last year. People finally learned that story because they highlighted it in the show.
And it's so funny because I actually put it out before The Pit put it out. And
And like, no one said anything. And then the pit shows it. Everybody's like, this is the greatest story. I'm like, yeah, I focused on that 2 years ago. But it's fine. You know,
it's fine.
It's about getting the stories out.
It is about getting the stories out, and we love when mainstream culture
Finally
does that.
Well, yeah,
because that's what like Watchmen did.
Watchmen, Hidden Figures.
Yep.
I mean, no one would have known Katherine Johnson did the algorithm to send us to the moon and back. A black woman.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's amazing.
You got another one?
Oh God, yeah. So I've got a whole bunch of them.
I know.
But,
You got at least 28.
yeah, for sure. The one that that people are most surprised about is every time you talk about people escaping for freedom, they're always escaping to Canada, right? Everybody's like, oh, we just got to get to Canada. We can get to Canada. There's no slavery in Canada, right? Well, if you lived in Texas, if you were enslaved in Texas, Canada might as well have been the moon, right? You're not getting from Texas to Canada. So what happened? Mexico, slavery was illegal. So 10,000 enslaved blacks fled to freedom in Mexico. And you never hear that in the books. And Mexico said yes. And so, you know, the southern states said, hey, wait a minute, we have a thing called the Fugitive Slave Act, Mexico. Would you please respect it and bring these individuals back? And Mexico said no. And so that became the Southern Underground Railroad. And it's amazing because you have these stories of all these Mexican conductors of the Underground Railroad that, you know, saved 10,000 people, and we don't have any stories about it.
Was it only Texas? Because I think about if you're if you're in Mississippi
Florida,
or Georgia, that Canada still feels very far.
Right, but you know what they do? You get to Philadelphia, then you can relax a little bit.
Okay.
You know, the Fugitive Slave Act was still in force, but Philadelphia was a free state. So you got there, you felt okay, but people were kidnapping blacks and bringing them back into, we called that the reverse Underground Railroad. And so people just slowly would make their way up to Canada. But yeah, Florida, Georgia, Texas, it was a lot closer to go to Mexico, right? I mean, can you imagine? Canada might as well have been the moon. It is so far away from Texas, and you're walking. Yeah. They're walking, or you got to hide. You got to do it at night, right? It's an amazing
Why do you think
story.
we hear less about the Mexico side of that than the Canada side of it?
And that, you know, I don't know, but there's an amazing play out called Mexodus. Okay. And it's about this exodus to Mexico and how these Mexican conductors of the Underground Railroad, and they tell the entire story. And I think that's when it actually blew up. And this was maybe about 10 years ago, I guess. And that's when it blew up. And people were like, oh my God, people went to Mexico? I mean, I've been studying Black history forever. And I didn't really know that story.
Yeah.
Everybody's Canada. They got to get to Canada. Got to get to Canada. No, you can go down to Mexico.
That is a good one. All right. He is Derek Mosley. I am Kristin Brey. We have 2 more segments with the judge after this.
2 hearts are interlinked,
intertwined,
permanently connected like 2 links in a chain.
The perfect symbol of a lifetime commitment.
One of the hearts is silver white.
The other is silver pink.
And each of the hearts is inlaid with tiny little diamonds that glitter like stars on a clear winter night.
The interlinked hearts are hanging on to each other as they dangle on the end of a chain.
Another perfect symbol of having a life partner.
It's not only the perfect symbol of a lifetime commitment, it's an incredibly beautiful diamond pendant.
Just $238.
The Kissing Hearts diamond pendant is part of the Kissing Hearts collection at Kessler's.
Even though it's just $238, it's still one of the most expensive things in the collection.
I'm buying the 2-tone Kissing Hearts cross.
The mother and child is spellbinding.
There's a Kissing Hearts ring.
Kissing Hearts earrings.
And 19 other Kissing Hearts pendants.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Are you sick and tired of overpriced fish fries? I am. I recommend the fish fry at the Mine Shaft Restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure. The haddock fish fry is all you can eat, $8.99. You'll pay twice that at other restaurants. I love the Mine Shaft fish fry. After a long week, escape from your kitchen with a cold beverage and a delicious all-you-can-eat fish fry. Desserts are buy one, get one free, and a kids menu starts at $3.99. And those kids can safely play in the world-class game room, quietly set away from the dining area while you finish up your meal. Take your family to the Mine Shaft today for the all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry at just $8.99. It's an incredible value. That's a crazy low price. The Saturday breakfast buffet is all you can eat for under $10. The Mine Shaft in downtown Hartford, lots of seating, lots of close parking. Also in Oshkosh near the EAA. Dig into that all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry today. Serving from 10:30. Arrive early. Beat the rush. Google the Mine Shaft Restaurant and enjoy that fish fry.
Accident Mortgage
Mortgages and Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert with my son David, president of Accunet. David, we're pre-approving a lot of home shoppers this time of year. Why should someone choose Accunet for their pre-approval?
Dad, getting pre-approved with just any lender is like showing up to a first date in sweatpants. Sure, you're there, but are you really ready to impress? Our rock-solid pre-approval is like showing up in your best outfit with reservations already made. We also have an excellent reputation among real estate agents, so having Accunet's name on your pre-approval can make the difference.
What else?
In addition to clearly stating we verified your credit, income, and down payment, we'll also run the specific home you're looking to buy through our underwriting software to see if we can approve your loan without an appraisal, which sellers and their agents absolutely love. Bottom line, we do everything possible to help you win.
Thanks, David. Don't settle for anything less. Get started with your rock-solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Start your Milwaukee weight loss program now to lose weight fast. 20 to 30 pounds. How about a month or two? Call for your free weight loss consultation. 262-449-1180. That's 262-449-1180. Or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
This Green Day?
No, it's Public Enemy featuring Anthrax.
Oh, did you call that? Oh, Derek Mosley calling the DJ. All right. Judge Derek Mosley is here, director of the Lubar Center at Marquette Law School. All right, so we were just going to talk about all the different stories you're telling on social media of Black history. But then, our president had to go and put out on social media last night a video of the Obamas as monkeys. And I already referenced it when Joe and Bill were still here, as far as Tim Scott did say, this is the racist thing I've ever seen the White House do. Can we get his mic on? There we go. And, so for you, who you do a lot of courses on implicit bias, you obviously are doing everything for 15 years, Black History Month posts. What are we supposed to do with this? Because there's a part of us that's like, well, it's just Trump being Trump, but it's also still inexcusable. And so how do you process this when something like this happens?
All right. So now being in academia, it's hard to process in a sense, because if a student did that, we would be having disciplinary proceedings with this student, right? But I look at it a different way. Maya Angelou is probably the best person. Use their quote, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And so it's no longer for me what he does. I don't even focus on that anymore. What's more important to me is what are the people who I call friends do, right? That's the more
personal friends.
Personal friends,
yeah.
Right? How are they responding to this, right? And so that's what I look at, because sometimes your silence is deafening. And so sometimes I want to know what people who I care about and people who claim to care about me and people who look like me, what do they think about stuff like this? And that's more important to me than what he's done, because he's shown me who he is already. And so it's not necessary for me to just focus on that. I want to know about these people around me. And here's why it's important, because I study Black history. And the whole time I study Black history, I've always thought to myself, there were good white people in the time of slavery, right? And the good white people in the time of Jim Crow. And what were they doing in times when they're like, yeah, I know this is bad, but I think I'm going to, if I just keep my head down and not say anything. Are we in that time now again? Is this our moment where we have to say, okay, I heard this. This is not appropriate. I saw this, I should say. It's not appropriate. I need to say something. And so people always ask me, I can't believe people acted this way during this time. And I say, well, if you wonder how they acted, look at how you act right now in this time.
Well, and that was interesting. So I saw, obviously the state of the world as it is right now, when we talk about ICE tactics and just how certain people are being treated. And I saw this, I think it was on Threads, but whatever, tweet. And I wanted to ask your opinion on it. The quote was, I am begging you to treat Black History Month seriously so you can stop using the word, quote, unprecedented to describe what is happening today.
Oh, yeah.
And that is the thing, I think a lot of times that we're talking, some of the things that we're talking about, we forget that Black people specifically in this country have been subjected to this the entire time they've been here.
Oh, yeah. You hear it all the time. People are like, oh, we have never been so divided in our lives. I'm like, what? We had a civil war. What do you mean we've never been divided like this before? Right, and unprecedented. None of this is unprecedented. It's in our history. And the problem is we don't teach it. And not only do we not teach it, we are actually actively scrubbing it. And if it wasn't for a federal judge who just came down a week ago that said, no, you have to stop. They were pulling down exhibits in Philadelphia, taking them down, as they referred to George Washington at the time when he lived there. He had a number of enslaved people. And so there was an order from the National Park Service from way up above to pull all that stuff off. And they literally removed it. And a federal judge came in and said, it's already removed, but you must now store it in a place where it can't be damaged because we need to put that stuff back. And that's important. That's what scares me. What scares me is all this information being scrubbed from websites, even like Arlington National Cemetery. There was a section that was dedicated to the, African-American soldiers, female soldiers, all these people that has been scrubbed in a sense. And they just said, here, we're not going to classify. Just when you think about what women had to do in the military and what people of color had to do to be a part of the military, to fight for this country, right? And we want to celebrate that. And the thing about learning Black history that people don't understand is it shows you just how far we have come, right? But if you don't show that story, then I do these Black history facts, and and everybody always comments, oh, I've never heard that before. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, no, you haven't, and it's not your fault. Remember, we talked about my journey, how I started doing this, how my mom lived in Tulsa and the whole Tulsa race massacre, and I went to school and asked my teacher about it, and she said that never happened, and my mom lost her mind, and so that's how I got on this journey. Yeah. She was like, I'm going to teach you what they're not going to teach you in school, and so now I've done it with my kids, and so we have to tell these stories, and there's a lot of people who do this around the country. I'm not the only one. But when I talk to those people, they're like, I never thought when I started this mission that I was going to be the repository of all these stories, right? Because if you just start scrubbing websites, there won't be anything to replace, right? And so that's what we're doing. We're treating these stories as if we are going to be the repository. But I never started this thinking I'm going to hold everything about Black history, on these drives. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And do you do that? I mean, well, we're going to go to a break in a second, but do you have a backup for everything that's not just on social media? Good.
Absolutely.
All right. He is Derek Mosley. I am Kristin Brey. We'll hear a little bit more of what's coming up at the Lubar Center after this.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi for Advent. I had snoring issues, right? Kept my wife, Kathy, up many nights, too many nights. Probably woke myself up a lot more than I realized. Poor sleep, tossing and turning, tired mornings. Kristin would say grouchy mornings on the radio. But I did something about it, which is me, action plan guy. I went to Advent as a customer and a client, 30-minute visit. They walked me through my issues, answered my questions, added a really simple sleep study at home, determined my problem, sinuses, nasal passage in my breathing triangle. After a short procedure, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, breathing better than ever, 5.5 years ago. Now I sleep through the whole night. That's worth the price of admission. If you struggle like I used to, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to AdventKnows.com. AdventKnows.com. Schedule an appointment today because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
What's up, Milwaukee? Christian Yelich here. Big news. Isaac Slade from The Fray and Jake Owen are joining us for this year's Home Plate charity event happening May 21st, 2026 at Landmark Credit Union Live. This night is all about giving back to the city that gives us so much. We're raising support for organizations that help Milwaukee families, students, and small businesses thrive. Get ready for an amazing night of music, community, and impact. Let's make this one the best yet. For more information on tickets, please head to Yelly22concert.com.
When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Deb Cruz, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Mega Milwaukee. Adam member new car dealers have factory warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Keep the comfort in and the weather out with beautiful new windows and doors from Siding Unlimited. For ideas, go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page. For a free estimate and honest price guarantee, go to sidingunlimited.com.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Todd.
Democrats say the governor's veto was necessary due to a lack of funding for public schools. The Joint Finance Committee approved that bill on a party line vote. It now heads to the state assembly.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
Orders are Tom Homan announcing a drawdown of 700 federal immigration officers deployed in Minnesota, effective immediately.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m. Only on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, we got 2 more minutes with Judge Derek Mosley, director over at the Lubar Center. So what is happening? What's coming up for events at the Lubar Center? Mike? Oh.
There we go. So, we have both of the Wisconsin Supreme Court candidates who are coming to the Lubar Center. So we have Maria Lazar, Judge Lazar, on February 17th.
Okay.
And we have Judge Chris Taylor on March 18th. And it's just a conversation with me and them. I've been colleagues with them for the last 20 years. And then we open up to the audience, which is going to be amazing. We have a poll coming up in March as well. And then I have Chief Justice Jill Karofsky coming in March 4th for sort of like the state of the judiciary, because the judiciary is becoming really important. You never thought the third branch was going to have this kind of power right now. So
that's very fun. I'm guessing the African American Heritage Dinner is already full. And that's why you didn't mention it.
That's why I didn't mention it. February 22nd is already full.
I saw it this morning. I'm going to be guessing that because it filled up. They all fill up really quickly,
fast.
Don't they?
Yeah, fill up real fast. And we're featuring East Africa, West Africa, Somalia, and Ethiopia, and so it's going to be great.
Nice. All right. What is your so if the people can't go to that dinner, what are some African American restaurants in Milwaukee you recommend?
Yeah, so I tell you to go to Sherman Phoenix and try baked. What is it? Baked goods. What is Tamisha's thing? Baked Dreams. Yeah, Baked Dreams is amazing. She's going to be catering our dinner. She has amazing banana pudding cakes, cups, and peach cobbler cups, which are awesome. Confectionally Yours on King Drive is amazing as well. Oh, my gosh. How much time do we have?
You got 15 more seconds.
15 more seconds. Delicious Bites out in Tosa is amazing. Daddy's Soul Food right there on Marquette's campus. Pepper Pot's great. The food truck or the restaurant. So
lots of options. All right. Well, follow him on Facebook, Instagram. You post anywhere else?
LinkedIn.
Derek Mosley, great follow, great way to learn a lot that you didn't know. As always, so good to see you, friend.
Always. Thank you.
All right. Have a great weekend. Can't wait to hear what you think of Bad Bunny's performance because we know I'm going to like it.
I'm excited.
All right. News is next.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift